So welcome to this event. This is meditation to boost fertility. So we want to go from struggling to snuggling our babies. And the way this works is using meditation to become aware of where we are at. So being completely honest with what we are thinking, what we are feeling, and what we are sensing, because that allows us to get honest with what is the root issue here, what is the main cause of this. We always have to be very careful with the words that we use. So the lack of fertility, or what is stopping us, or what is in the way, or what is this asking of us or inviting us into. So really learning to become aware of the words we say, the thoughts we think, and how our language can help us or hurt us. So noticing where your thoughts are going and then asking yourself, does this serve me? Does it not? And then shifting when you can find a way that will better serve you. So let's just begin with a 5-minute meditation to simply just ground us into this space. So very simple. We're just going to take this moment to tune into our breath. So I invite you to just close your eyes. Find yourself in a comfortable position, allowing your spine to elongate so you're sitting up nice and tall with your shoulders down and back. Just allowing yourself to settle into the rhythm of your breath. Feeling your body expand on your inhale and soften on your exhale. Allowing yourself to be fully present in this moment. Tuning into your breath. Feeling your body expand on your inhale and soften on your exhale. Simply noticing what thoughts, feelings, or emotions arise. Simply noticing them and letting your attention return back to your breath. So our breath has a way of awakening what is stored within us. So it's very common when you tune inwards during a meditation practice, tuning into your breath, that all of a sudden these thoughts, feelings, and emotions arise. Maybe it makes you uncomfortable and you want to stop. But simply allowing yourself to be curious, noticing what is coming up for you, choosing to love that aspect of yourself. And returning your attention to your breath. Feeling your body expand on your inhale and soften on your exhale. Beautiful. And when you are ready, you can bring yourself back into this moment. Just notice how that feels. Giving yourself this moment to just be present, to tune into your body. It's very common for thoughts, feelings, and emotions to arise because as you give your body this chance and this space to fully breathe, you move that oxygen through your body and it creates flow. And that flow is going to awaken parts of us that is stuck and numb. And it's a way of connecting ourselves back into our bodies. And this is very important when it comes to fertility, because it is our bodies that will create this little one. So we want to tune inwards, connect with our body, and listen to our body, because our bodies are always speaking to us and communicating to us. And if we don't listen to them, it will get louder. And that presents itself in a symptom or a concern or an issue, because that is our body's way of getting our attention. So when these symptoms and these issues arise, that is our cue to then turn inwards and love that aspect of ourselves and simply listen. And I know that might sound kind of crazy, or like, is that even possible? And I 100% trust me, it is. And that is exactly how I came to this work. So I grew up in a very Christian family, went to church every Sunday. I always wanted to help other people. So I got a job in the medical field. I really wanted to be a nurse. Well, let's backtrack. I really wanted to be a doctor, but I really wanted to be a mom. And I felt like being a doctor I would spend too much time in school, and then I would have to be working all the time, and I wouldn't be able to be that mom I wanted to be. So then I was like, maybe I'll be a nurse, but I didn't think I could handle the blood and the stuff. So then I found the program for ultrasound technologist. So I did my ultrasound school. And I was always so curious learning about all the pathologies, and especially with women's health. It was just very interesting to me. And then I found myself working at a women's health clinic, which was really cool. So early 20s, working at this women's health clinic, I think, yes, awesome, I'm doing this great job. And part of this women's health clinic is a fertility clinic. So we got to scan all of the fertility patients, cycle monitoring, getting ready for IUI, IVF procedures, any sort of pre-op surgeries, simply monitoring. And then they did eventually build an OR in our building. So we got to actually participate in the IVF treatments when it was ultrasound guided. And I probably worked with these women for 5 years before I started experiencing my own fertility issues. And it didn't really strike me as to what these women were experiencing until I started experiencing it. And every day going into work, scanning pregnant women and not being able to get pregnant myself. So that jealousy and that resentment and that anger, and then not being able to talk about it, not having that support system. And then we started having miscarriages, and it all got really tough. And at one point then, I was offered progesterone. So I started cycle monitoring through my clinic, and they said that I need progesterone because my blood work showed that it was low. So I took the progesterone and I couldn't handle it. It was a crazy month. I felt that way, right? I couldn't handle the hormones. And that was when I was like, no, I'm stopping. Like, I can't, this isn't working for me. And I think a lot of that came from, I watched these women for years, and sometimes it worked, but most times it didn't. But most times I would be following them month after month after month, cycle after cycle after cycle, and I would notice their emotions, and I would notice the heaviness. And absolutely, there were some success stories, and these women were awesome. Like, they would pour their hearts out to us when they're on that table and we're doing the ultrasound. But I saw that pain. And when it was my turn to be the one in that seat, I couldn't do it. And it was just this knowing. And I just prayed to God that if there was a way, and if I was meant to have children, that way would be presented to me. And I kid you not, within weeks, it was like these ideas started coming to me. And then I tried this, and then I listened here, and then I heard this other, he was actually a chiropractor out of the States. And he said that every single infertility patient that has come to him who has changed their diet, this isn't the point of the story. Well, I'll get to it. He said all of his patients, if they went gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free, they would get pregnant in 3 months. And I said to my husband, I know this is crazy, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut it all out. What's the worst that could happen, right? I got nothing to lose. I really felt like I had nothing to lose. So December 1st, I decided to do this crazy elimination diet. And I grew up on a dairy farm. So trying to explain to my mom at Christmas time why I can't have dairy and I can't have gluten and I can't have any of the cookies and the treats, they thought I was crazy. And they were like, okay, like, can you still have mashed potatoes with butter? I'm like, no, Mom, that's dairy. So it was just that knowing. And within a couple days, I noticed I was sleeping again, because I was at the point where I was sleeping like on average 3 to 4 hours a night. And I started feeling better. And that cycle, we got pregnant. And then it was such a smooth and beautiful pregnancy. And that was when my mind really started to shift, because I would go to work and I'd be like, hey guys, like, you saw what I went through. This is what I did. Like, can we offer this to the patients? Like, maybe there's something here. And they're all like, no, you're crazy. And I was like, but you saw me, you knew what I was at, and this is all I had to do. And it really wasn't that drastic when you think about what fertility treatments are. And I was surprised at the denial or the backlash I got. And I thought that was really interesting, but it really expanded my awareness and opened my mind. And that was when I had to follow that. I had to follow that power of thought, that power of awareness. And it led me quickly to meditation and then further to energy work. And that's where we are today, me sharing my story and sharing this with you, the power of meditation, because really what we're doing is we're choosing to tune into our breath. That's the physical action we're going to take. Allow ourselves to be present, turn within, and reconnect with our bodies. And when we do this, we have this connection, and it increases our ability to be intuitive. So it develops our intuition and to be able to feel that guidance, right? Feel that guidance from God, from source, from the universe, whatever term you wish to use. It's that creator energy, and it can come through us, and we can use our body and our breath. And meditation is the tool that unlocks that. And I mean, we can get into all the physical stuff. Absolutely, it'll help to balance your hormones, because it will lower the cortisol, and that'll just balance it all out. But for me, the biggest benefit of adding a meditation practice is to develop that self-awareness, to develop that ability to be objective in a situation, so that instead of reacting, we can respond. And it's not to say that you'll never react again and that you're going to come into this magical space where you're just able to respond. I mean, theoretically, that's beautiful, and that's absolutely what I'm working towards attaining, but it's shortening that time, right? When you react to when you can respond, and can you look up something objectively? So practicing a daily meditation is going to help you to focus your attention on your thoughts and be more attentive in your day-to-day, because where you place your attention is where you place your energy. So if you're always thinking about what could go wrong, you're putting all of your attention and your energy into the possibility of that going wrong. Where with meditation, we can become aware, oh my goodness, we're thinking about this horrible situation. And then you can ask, do I want to think about this horrible situation? Or can I shift my attention over here to this is more likely going to happen, so I don't need to worry about that, right? It's learning where our thoughts are going and where we want them to go. So this is where we go from struggling to get pregnant to snuggling our baby. So when I did get pregnant with my first, and at this point, I was 26. I had been scanning pregnant women for 6 years. And I heard all the stories, every sort of traumatic story, every story about how hard postpartum is. I heard it all. But in all of those stories, I heard those glimpses of the beautiful, magical moments. And I right away decided, no, I want those beautiful, magical moments, even if it's only 1% of the women talking about that. That's what I want. And that's where I focused my attention. So when people would find out I was pregnant and they wanted to start in on one of their stories, I would just say, you know what, I'm going to have a low-risk pregnancy, a quick delivery, and a sleeping baby. That's what I want. And everyone would just look at me and laugh. And they're like, oh, you can't just get that. You can't just get what you want. It doesn't work like that. Like, that's not realistic. And I would just laugh along with it because, I don't know, I was young and naive, but that is exactly what I wanted. And it's so funny because as that whole experience played out, that's exactly what I got. So at my 20-week ultrasound, there was a red flag that I had a short cervix. And one of the doctors I worked with said, no, you'll be fine. You're good to go. And another doctor said, no, she needs to be on bed rest. Like, she can't be on her feet at all. She needs to rest. And it was really this, like, I don't know, what do I do? And it was really scary in the beginning because I didn't want to lose my baby. I finally got pregnant. And I have one doctor telling me I'm fine, I can walk, and another doctor telling me that I need to be on bed rest. And I'm like, well, what do I do? And I was like, I just kept coming back to that intention. I didn't even know it was an intention at that point, but that's just what I kept saying. I was like, you know, God, I really want this. It's a low risk pregnancy, a quick delivery, and a sleeping baby. Like, everything is going to be okay. And weeks went on and my cervix didn't shorten anymore. It didn't grow, like it didn't lengthen, but it didn't shorten. And that was good. And I ended up going 4 days overdue. And of course, doctors can't even tell me why that happened or how that happened. But now I know there's so much more than these measurements that we see on ultrasound that, in my opinion, can be pretty subjective. Anyways, so then I wanted the quick delivery, and everyone's like, it's your first, right? You hear all the stories about labor, and sure enough, throughout my pregnancy, these opportunities arose. I had met with this really awesome doula. She gave me some really awesome exercises to work through beforehand. And mentally, I was very prepared when it went in time to have my child, that I ended up delivering him within 2 hours of my water breaking. It went really fast. And through another series of just events, I ended up getting this really great baby book from my mother-in-law for Christmas. My son was born just in the new year. So I was like 39 weeks pregnant. And my mother-in-law gave me this one baby book. And I just really connected with the way that author put her children, the way that author explained to put the kids into a routine, and it helps them to sleep. And I implemented that with my son, and he was a great sleeper right from the beginning. So it wasn't until he was maybe a year old when I kind of looked back and I was like, oh my goodness, it actually happened. It actually happened. I had a low risk pregnancy, a quick delivery, and a sleeping baby. And I was just like, whoa, like amazed by the power of those words and what we tell ourselves, because I so easily could have been overwhelmed and consumed with all of these horrible stories that seem to be the common narrative. But there was that glimmer of hope in that, like, 1% of women who were talking about these beautiful, magical experiences. And I decided that's what I wanted. And that is where I really believe there is power in meditation, because it allows us to become aware of what we're thinking. And this is where we get honest. This is where we get courageous, because we're actually listening to what our fears are. What is our body actually telling us? And unfortunately, a lot of it is, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy enough, or whatever kind of negative self-talk that we are talking about. But until we become aware of that, we can't shift it. And shifting it absolutely is going to help. And this is how we get to the root of the issue of whatever it is that is in, I don't even want to say in the way, because I honestly believe, and I look back on my own experiences, had I not had that experience, and had I not had that opportunity to actually examine what is health, what is wellness, what do I actually want, what are my intentions, why do I want to have a child? Unless I actually examined that, I know I wouldn't be the mother that I am today, or the woman that I am today. And I wouldn't give any of that up, because I feel like if pregnancy just came naturally to me in a very simple, effortless way, I don't know if I would have gotten that opportunity for that self-development that I now know I'm so grateful for, if that makes sense. So I don't want to say that infertility is a burden or a block or any of that, because absolutely you could look at it like that. But I would really invite you to shift your mindset on that and look at this as an opportunity to take this time for you, to pursue what you want, to make you a strong person, to make you a strong woman, so that you can be that strong mother for your child. So this is where meditation is just so beautiful and so helpful. And not only will this be a skill that will help you to prepare your body and your life, to prepare yourself to receive a child and to be pregnant, it's going to help you manage all the symptoms and emotions that come up during pregnancy. And it's going to help you to be present and connect with your body and your baby during pregnancy. And then you can take all of that skill on into labor and delivery. And you can be present in this labor, in this moment when you're bringing your child into this world, which is the most beautiful thing ever. You get to be present in that. Like, that is a beautiful opportunity. And then when you're recovering postpartum, you get this beautiful special bond with your child, and you have this technique to work through all the emotions and the feelings and the symptoms that can come up in postpartum. And it really does make for a beautiful experience. And then as your child grows, you have this connection with them, and you really do create this resilient foundation for a family. So let's get into meditation now. So meditation can sound vague or difficult, and it doesn't have to be any of that. It is simply choosing to be present. So meditation means to become familiar with. So we want to become familiar with our breath, with our thoughts, with our feeling, with our body. So it's as simple as sitting. We want to, posture is important. It's not the end of the world though. Like sometimes first thing in the morning, if you're just laying down and you want to have that laying down meditative moment, or even going to bed at night, absolutely you can lay down. Sitting is great when you want to make sure that you've elongated your spine. So you want to make sure your pelvis is tilted forward so that you can elongate your spine, and then chin slightly tucked just to help elongate your spine. And then you want your shoulders down and back. So this will open up the chest, and that gives you more space to breathe. So we want to do full belly breathing. You want to fully expand your chest and your tummy, moving that diaphragm. So as your lungs expand, your diaphragm will lower. It'll push your belly out. I think this is another thing as women, we're always, I don't want to say we're expected, but we take on this idea that we have to suck it in. But when we suck it in, we can't actually breathe, and we're just limiting ourselves, and we can't bring in that energy that our bodies need. So we need to get comfortable with full belly breathing and letting our belly stick out. And I think that in itself is actually a major trigger and something that you can look into. Why do I feel I can't stick my belly out? Why is that an issue, right? That is a great place to start when you're looking into these deeper emotions. Anyway, so you want a full belly breath, and then it's simply just having a connected breath. So imagine like 5, 5. So inhale for a count to 5, and then exhale for a count to 5. And it's simply just bringing your attention to your breath. So an easy way of starting a meditation practice would be using your 5 senses. So you close your eyes, bring your attention to your breath, and then notice, what are you hearing? Just kind of listen. So this is bringing mindfulness into the moment. So listening, what are you hearing? And then you can notice, what are you feeling? Maybe the temperature of the air, maybe there's a breeze, maybe you can feel the clothes on your body, maybe you can feel the hair on your skin. What are you feeling? And then what are you seeing? So if your eyes are closed, just notice what you're seeing. Maybe you're seeing lines or dots or flashing or colors. Just be curious. Notice what you might be seeing. And then we could do taste and smell. So smell, maybe there's a temperature or a fragrance in the room of a flower. Or just noticing maybe the smell of any sort of cosmetics or laundry, soap from your clothes, or just noticing what you are smelling. And then taste. So noticing if there is any resemblance of a taste left in your mouth, or if any tastes come to mind. That often happens too. So you start with just working through the senses to be present, and then simply just tuning into your breath. And when your thoughts wander, you just bring your attention back to your breath. So it is very common for thoughts, feelings, and emotions to arise, in which case you just bring your attention back to your breath. And it's as simple as that. And that could last 2 minutes, or that could last 20 minutes. Really, whatever works for you. The best way to start a meditation practice is to make a commitment to yourself to do it. So literally writing in your journal, I will meditate daily, and then adding like at this time. So I will meditate daily when I wake up at 7 a.m. for 10 minutes. And writing it down and having that detailed action plan, it already takes out the decision making, because you just made that commitment. You just made that decision that this is a consistent time every day that I'm going to do this. And when you think through all that steps, you are more likely to stick with that meditation practice. And I would say absolutely within 2 weeks, if you're completely new to meditation, within 2 weeks, you're going to start to notice those benefits. If you have experience with meditation, you might notice those benefits coming a lot sooner. And you might notice it as you might notice sounds, and you didn't know that like when I started meditating, I didn't notice that there was a sound coming from the fridge. There's like the refrigerant fan or whatever it is, but there's like a small hum that comes from the fridge. And I was like, I didn't know that. And you just notice all of these little sounds or smells. And it's really interesting, because naturally in pregnancy, your senses heighten because you become more aware. So it's really interesting starting a meditation practice going into pregnancy, because it starts to develop all of those senses sooner. And another beautiful thing is when in your day-to-day, when situations arise and you notice you don't react to something, or something happens and you weren't triggered by it. And that is when you really realize that you're getting the benefits from this practice. All right, so let's get started. So this is just a simple, basic meditation practice. And this is all about tuning in and connecting with our bodies, noticing what thoughts and feelings and emotions arise because they're coming up to be healed, which means they're coming up to be recognized. We love that aspect of ourselves, and then we simply return our attention back to our breath. So I am going to start the music again. So finding yourself in a comfortable seated position. Allowing yourself to take a couple deep breaths, tuning into the rhythm of your breath. Feeling your body expand on your inhale and soften on your exhale. Bringing your attention to your sense of hearing, noticing what sounds are present now. Noticing loud sounds and quiet sounds. Allowing yourself to become aware of the sounds around you. Now bringing your attention to your sense of touch, noticing what you are feeling right now. Noticing how your clothes fit against your skin. Notice how your body feels sitting in this position. Noticing the temperature of the air in the room. How your hair feels against your skin or your head. Becoming aware of what you can feel. And now bringing your attention to what you can see. Noticing
any lights, colors, shapes. Become aware of what you can see. Now bringing our attention to our sense of smell. Noticing any fragrances or scents in the air. And now bringing your attention to your sense of taste. Noticing any tastes in your mouth, a previous meal, or maybe the flavor left from your toothpaste, or a recent drink. Or maybe even a taste that comes to mind. Allowing yourself to be present in this moment. Becoming aware of our breath. Noticing our body expand on our inhale and soften on our exhale. Allowing our senses to bring our awareness into this present moment. Noticing what thoughts, feelings, emotions, or memories arise. Allowing yourself to love that part of you now. And returning your attention to your breath in this moment, in your body. Knowing that at any moment throughout your day, you can tune into your breath, tune into this present moment, tune into your body. You can make this simple meditation practice part of your morning routine, creating a firm foundation and a clear intention for your day. Choosing to be present, connected, and curious. Choosing to be aware, attentive. Choosing where you wish to place your energy. First, we connect with our breath. Then we connect with our body. And then we connect with our baby. Allowing yourself to breathe a big sigh of relief. You are here. You are present. You are connected. Beautiful. I hope you enjoyed that meditation. I hope you feel inspired to add this to your daily practice and to continue to develop this relationship with yourself, with your breath, with your body, choosing to be curious and to love yourself through all of these moments, through all of these challenges, through all of these struggles. Allowing yourself to be curious is the fastest way to shift the energy from a negative mindset or a negative thought, or to shift it into a higher vibration and becoming aware. So thank you so much for joining me. Can't wait till we can connect again.